Before we start, I just want to let everyone know that I've teamed up with Marilis to help celebrate the channel's 10k subscriber milestone. In doing so, I'll be giving out 3 premium license keys for Marilis' Action Screen Recorder, which is a pretty awesome and nifty professional program for recording games, your desktop, and even benchmarking, along with a list of many other cool features you can find in action. To participate in the giveaway, just make sure you click on the link in the video description down below for instructions on how to enter. The winners will be announced on December 15th during a live stream of Force Arena Fridays. Now on to the video.
Right behind you, Paul.
Hey, and welcome to another Battlefront update. If you play the campaign story mode for Star Wars Battlefront 2, you may have realized that it doesn't exactly end on a happy or sad note. It doesn't end on any note at all. Rather, the note entirely just falls down a cliff, leaving us a cliffhanger and teasing us for the continuation and quite possibly the completion of the story in an upcoming DLC. Which is weird, as all the promos and marketing for Battlefront 2 had it telling us that we would witness a story from the end of Return of the Jedi all the way to the rise of the First Order. Sure, we got the end of the Return of the Jedi part alright, but that's about it. Who are we to be surprised at this? We didn't even get a full Imperial story we were promised either. So this new story DLC, what's it about, what is it, and when will we get it? Well, the story DLC is called Project Resurrection, and it's been announced we will be getting it on December 13th, the same day Star Wars The Last Jedi is initially released in Europe. From the official information released by DICE regarding the DLC, it'll be charting the First Order's rise to power. But other than that pretty broad statement, that's about it. So alright, that's good news at least. We'll be learning about the First Order's origins. Only we need to wait for it rather than it being part of the launch day game. Unfortunately, that's all we know regarding the DLC, at least officially. But thanks to some leaks, we can get a deeper look into what we'll expect to find in the release DLC. Now I want to preface this first by saying majority of these leaks were obtained from the alpha version of the game. These said leaks also leaked the entire vanilla main story, which it was completely correct on. So it goes without saying that these leaks on the DLC should be just as true as well. First we'll start off with what the DLC will be about. It takes place 29 years after the Battle of Jakku. We know that Iden and Del married and had at least one daughter, Zay. Some of the leaked story dialogue also mentions a boy named Dio, but there are only a few lines of his name included where he's taking part in a mission of Iden and Zay. At the same time, the dialogue also mentions them as Iden and her family. So because of this, many leakers back in June suspected that this was also the son of Iden and Del. But right now, it's still pretty unclear. Anyways, word gets out that Del has disappeared while investigating suspicious activity on Pilio. Iden and her family set out to look for him. It doesn't take them long to learn that Gleb, who's the main antagonist in the story DLC, is behind Del's death. She's participating in something called Project Resurrection, in which Del finds out about and then is killed by Hask. Yet Iden doesn't yet know at this point that Hask is still alive, of course. Iden and her family learn Del originally went to Atula, which surprises them as Atula is a small planet on the edge of the system, populated but nothing really worth visiting. It's only once Iden and her family arrive there that they find out Gleb along with the Janata security have been raiding the planet for years and capturing the people there as slaves, taking the adults back to Pilio the farm, while no one yet knows what exactly Gleb has been doing with the captured children. Iden also then learns of Del's promise to the Athulans to help rescue their people on Pilio, which is where he disappeared. Then they travel to Pilio, only to believe that Gleb killed Del because he learned what Project Resurrection was doing to the planet. At the same time, while still looking for answers on what Project Resurrection is, why Del was killed, and what happened to all those missing children, Iden and her family set course for Vardos, where Gleb runs her operation. On their way there, Iden pledges that she won't let Del's death be for nothing. She says, "Now that Gleb has grown only more ruthless and greedy since the days of the Empire, Janata security has devastated Pilio, and now the people of Atula live in fear of being kidnapped. Someone has to stand up to the Janata security. Del tried, in return Gleb had him killed. So now it falls to us. Set a course for Vardos, it's time we shut down Project Resurrection." Unfortunately, that's all that can be salvaged from the leaked story dialogue, as the rest is either not legible or unfinished. Which makes sense, as remember this was found in the alpha version released over the summer. But what we can tell is that Iden and her family will travel to Atula, Pilio, and Vardos. Furthermore, Coruscant is also briefly mentioned, but it's unsure whether we'll actually get to visit the planet in the game. It just seems that the DLC will really only take place on the 3 planets mentioned, which isn't much of a surprise. We see at the end of the vanilla campaign that Peliel looks to be dying as a result of whatever Gleb is doing there with Project Resurrection. And Hask does mention to Gleb that Vardos has been rebuilt by the First Order, so Iden revisiting her old homeworld will be interesting to see. Unfortunately, there's no mention of either Hask or Kylo Ren in the leaked story dialogue during this time, but I'm really just counting on that being the result of the dialogue not yet having been finished at the time of the alpha release, so we may still see them along with Starkiller Base in the campaign DLC, but I'm pretty sure we're going to see Hask in the story DLC, not only because of his history with Iden, but he was the one that did pull the trigger on Del after all. Some other fun tidbits in the DLC are that Shriv is the one who finds and locates a Corvus along with some metal structure on the planet, which may potentially relate to Project Resurrection. As well on their trip to Peliel, it's here where Iden tells Zay that Del joined the Church of the Force shortly after the Battle of Jakku, apparently mostly because of the effect that meeting Luke Skywalker on Peliel had on him. It completely changed his perception of the Force and made him want to dedicate his life to following it. Also, thanks to the full release of the game now, we can also get a good look of how Iden will look like in the DLC. Since the DLC is 29 years after the Battle of Jakku, we can clearly see Iden as aged and still sports a short haircut. And her portrait file name has it listed as Iden Resistance, which pretty much confirms that Iden is now part of the Resistance at this stage. And while we can't see much of it, she's also wearing a brand new uniform as well. We also have the voice files of Zay, with her speaking to her mother Iden, as well mentioning of facing First Order Flame Troopers, officers, and even Riot Troopers. Take a listen here.
Flame Trooper, keep your distance. Heavy weapons guy. Enemy heavy. Here come the Riot Troopers. Riot Trooper. Riot Trooper closing in. Riot Trooper on the move. Officer ahead. You see that officer? Rocket launcher. They've got rockets. They're right on top of you. Way to go, Mom. Good shot. They are done. Fighter down. All right, Mom. Direct hit. Woo! One down. He's done for. That'll show him.
Now we still have no idea what Project Resurrection will be about, but there's a strong chance it'll be focused around Snoke and some spoilers concerning Star Wars The Last Jedi releasing next month, with Matt Martin of the Lucasfilm Story Group even telling fans it'll be best to watch The Last Jedi first before diving into the Battlefront 2 campaign DLC. But that's pretty much all we know about Project Resurrection unofficially. So what do you think? Does it sound like an interesting DLC addition to the story, or anything at all what you were expecting? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, while this isn't directly related to the story DLC, but seeing as that is a part of the Last Jedi Season DLC, I figured I'd at least mention it. So as you can see, it's the first look of Captain Phasma in the game character screen. If she looks a little funny or off to you, that makes sense, as this is only a placeholder model, with the final Phasma character model to look obviously way better than this. And speaking about the Last Jedi DLC, we also have the hero portrait file for Finn, which I don't know about you, but if I didn't know any better, I would have assumed it was an actual real-life photo of John Boyega on account of just how realistic it looks. Now, let's just hope for the same for his actual in-game 3D model. But that'll do it for this Battlefront update. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please like it, share it, and subscribe to the channel to not only support it, but keep up with Star Wars news, gaming, and canon lore released every week. And consider following me on Twitter and Facebook to never miss out on the latest Star Wars related content. And if you still want to continue the conversation, then definitely join us on our official SYLO Discord channel. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.